You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast, and welcome to the mind of Sir Christopher Nolan. On today's episode, we're going back in time, we're mourning our dead wives, and we're trying to figure out just what the hell is going on as we discuss the works of Christopher Nolan. In the first of a new series for Popcorn for Dinner, we're going to be discussing our personal favorite films from the filmmaker, and also what we think is as close to objectively agreeable as possible is his best film. And joining me on this journey through time, space, and dreams, you can almost see them. Who? A Fred. It's Ebuka. Ebuka, how you doing?
I am fantastic. You guys are so good at intros. If there's one thing I'm jealous about is how good you are as
I was trying to see how
intros.
many. Okay, thank you. I'm trying to get better at taking compliments. Thank you. I've realized editing episodes that whenever like you guys compliment me, I always say something. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better. So thank you. But I was trying to see how many like Nolan references I could put into that introduction. So yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Suffering through the heat in London. But before you say anything, yes, I still prefer this to winter. There is no question.
Okay, that shows that you know me, but you know, I mean, you know best. I mean, I'm the target audience for that statement because one, I'm someone who lived in the UK, so I know that like UK is 32 degrees is not the same as anywhere else. So that's serious. I understand.
Bro,
I think I still think
looked at the
personally UK
forecast. They said 35 degrees. I was like, in Margaret Thatcher's England, 35 what?
I still maintain that UK. I mean, I've not even been to many places, but I still maintain that UK summer is one of the worst. Like that UK heat when it gets hot is probably one of the worst. Like this is someone that grew up in Nigeria. I just think it's one of the worst.
Fair.
Like it's bad. But also, yeah, you know me, like winter supremacy. So winter supremacy over summer. Like I don't think that's not if winter is my best season.
Yeah.
Like my ideal season is like the sun can be out, but it's not hot.
So spring, yeah, like
spring, yeah, and we also cover up.
Can I
I think
say
we
something?
should all cover up. We should all be halal. We should all cover up.
So this is what I would say, right?
Yes.
At the risk of sounding like a fence sitter, I say this to people all the time. The best weather, it's when it's sunny, but you can still wear a jacket, right? Because then it's like up to you. If you don't want to wear a jacket, you will survive. Like you won't die, but you can still wear a jacket and the sun is out. That is like the best.
But I should say, and this is how I knew that I was spiritually inclined for the UK, I don't mind the fog. I don't mind like...
Oh, no, I hate it. Like, you know, that's the funny thing. Like, I don't mind the cold. It's everything that comes with the cold that I don't like. The rain.
But I'm not like, the sun is out. Oh, woe is me. Here's me. I mean, it's Shakespearean tragedy. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Yeah, as long as it's not raining. Everybody hates rain. That's me with
cold and the rain. I don't want to leave my house.
Like speaking of rain, let's just move on before listeners who came here for Nolan get annoyed. But speaking of rain, actually, that's a good segue to Nolan because I was watching back some of these movies, and I realized, actually, quite a few of them, or at least two of them, start with like water, which I think is more than I was thinking of Inception and Oppenheimer. Not to mention some movies that I'm sure will come up during this discussion. So yeah, like I mentioned in the intro, this is a new idea we're trying out. Where we're going to discuss what are our personal favorite Nolan films, and also what we think are like his best Nolan films, because usually those two things are kind of different. I'm excited about this idea. There are a few filmmakers and actors that I want to try it out with over the course of the year and hopefully going forward. Before all of that, though, some quick admin. We're bang in the middle of House of the Dragon Season 3, so please check that out with Ebube, Fami, and Sonen, and hopefully some fun guests. Last week, speaking of Ebube, Priscilla and I did an episode where we spoke about everything you need to know about the Odyssey without knowing about the Odyssey. So yeah, just kind of like spoke about like the Iliad, which is its prequel, and just kind of all the things there's a lot of cultural osmosis around the Odyssey. I've never read the book. I realized I didn't know so many things about the Odyssey, but at the same time, I knew so many things because, like, I've been watching movies and TV shows for 30 plus years. So there's so many things that are just kind of in the ether. So we kind of discussed that. So it's like the best way you can go spoiler free, but also still knowing like the Battle of Troy and the Trojan horse. Um, yeah, and obviously Odyssey is coming up, Branding Day is coming up, MCU 12 is still going. Check out our episodes on most recently on Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok last month. There's another one coming up in a couple of weeks, which is actually very, very pertinent to the superhero movies going on right now. Anyway, okay, that's it. Ebuka, we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about Christopher Nolan. We did the Nolan draft a few years back. I think it was
We
something
did.
for Oppenheimer, right?
Yes. And I think I won.
Sure. Okay. Um, I just haven't checked who actually won. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, I think I was cheated for that one. Oh, whatever.
No,
Anyways,
you weren't cheated. You just
uh,
think people voted wrong.
yeah. I mean, I guess just to rehash it, what's your kind of relationship to Nolan?
Nolan is just the guy, man. I'm not going to pretend. Like, he was the first director where I was like, okay, I'm going to see a film because he's making it. Like, he was the first one where I was like for me, the whole, like, obviously Inception was a cool film, but the whole
Mm-hmm.
tagline was that, who's this Christopher Nolan guy, right? Like, he did Dark Knight and now Inception. If anyone was ever going to introduce me to like following a director around, it was going to be
Yeah.
him. And imagine, being like a teen, yeah, around that age where you're just getting into movies and then you watch The Prestige and first of all, you watch Inception and
Okay.
your mind is blown. And then you watch Prestige, is like, never let them know your next move, plot twist after plot twist. And then you find Memento and you're just like, who the fuck
Who
is
is
this
this guy?
guy? Yeah, man. And it's so funny because in doing like the research and not researching, but like revisiting some of his films, I do think every time you watch a Nolan film, yes, you pick up something different. But I do think it's insane how like he's made so many different styles of films,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you really tried hard enough, you could like draw a few threads in like all his movies, and not just the time thing that everyone talks about. He's a very, yeah, he does. So that's actually something that I thought about. He does everything right. Like, he's got, really cool story, really good looking movies
Mm-hmm.
and great characters.
I don't think he's. I was thinking about it. I don't think he's made a bad film. And I mean, obviously, there are different, a few filmmakers that kind of feel into this, but like, I don't feel like, I feel like, obviously, people have different movies that they think are just not, maybe to them, not good. But I think, like, objectively, like, you can't just, I think Tenet and Dark Knight Rises are, like, the biggest Nolan punching bags. Tenet, especially, I haven't revisited Dark Knight Rises, but Tenet, especially, I disagree. I just kind of really like that film.
You don't like Tenet?
No, as in I like it. Like, I disagree with people that like
Mm-hmm.
insulted on internet.
What
I
is
haven't got back to
Tenet?
it.
Tenet is before Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
want to know something very funny? There was a point where I rewatched Oppenheimer, and when that line happens where he's like, something, something physics, it's not
Mm-hmm.
about if you can read sheet music. Can you feel the music? And the
It's
first
just
thing I thought
feel
about
it.
was Tenet. That was the first thing I thought
I
about.
mean, he does. Funny that you said that because he's gone on record and saying that Tenet is not for you to understand; it's for you to feel. It's like the movie is just to experience the movie.
And you know something?
Like,
I do, even till now, right? I do feel a little bit like that about Inception. I'm not one of those people who thinks Inception is super confusing,
mm-hmm.
but I come away from Inception nowadays thinking, just vibe, man. Like,
Just
it's
vibe.
it's dreams, one or two things. Because, for example, the logic sometimes in Inception, I'm just like, I actually have a very, very like coldish, hot Inception take that, but it's one of those
Do we
ones
want to
like,
save it or do we want to have it
I
now?
will save it, but it's like a cinema sin style thing. But I feel like it's dominated Inception discourse for so many years. But like
Okay.
everybody, I feel gets it wrong. We'll get to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's then remember that. Um, So wait, no, it can't be that Inception was when you knew who Christopher Nolan was.
It was, because where else would I have known? Like, I
No,
watched Batman.
I'm thinking that's early. That's 2010.
No, but that was so that's the thing. It's not that I saw Inception when it came out and then I knew who
Okay.
Nolan was. I saw Inception like 2013,
Okay.
2014.
So you saw it
And
later. Okay, yeah.
like I went to this is actually so funny, like a bit of backstory. I went to this is when I just moved to the UK, and I can't remember. I don't know if I was like not trying to become more cultural, but I was like, okay, I can't play PS3 like all day. So
Yeah.
I go to the I can't remember the name of the store, one of those like DVD stores. And I asked the guy, because it was like £1 or something like you could buy I think 10 for £5, something like that. So I asked the guy to,
Remember when life
recommend
was
some.
easier?
Yeah, and he gave me Inception, Memento, The Dark Knight, The Prestige. Like he gave me all the
Oh, he
Nolans
just gave
basically.
you Nolan.
Yes.
Fair
No, but he gave
enough.
me other, like he tried to give me like a starter pack of like every genre.
Yeah.
So he gave me like Punch Drunk Love, some other like Adam Sandler movies, and then he gave me some of the animated films I used, like in Madagascar, all of that. But it was like a good spread. But the Nolan shit, I was like, yo. The one that I didn't even think I would enjoy was The Prestige, and it was, turned out to
Yeah,
be.
I think for me as well, because like I've spoken about 2014 ad nauseum on this podcast, so I'm not gonna go into that. But like for me as well, it was between that 2013 Dark Knight Rises. Jesus, this guy did Dark Knight Rises and Interstellar back to back years. So it was that period between 2013 Dark Knight Rises and 2014 Interstellar that I was like, oh okay, I need, because I don't think I watched Dark Knight Rises in the cinema. I know I watched Interstellar in the cinema.
Yeah, same. I didn't
Yeah,
watch Dark Knight Rises in the cinema. I know I watched Interstellar in the cinema. Yeah.
yeah. So it's definitely in that period that I was like, who is this guy? All these names sound, it was something I did with Finch. I was like, all these names sound familiar. How do I need to go back and watch all of these as well. And actually, I might have, no, that might be wrong. I might have done Memento earlier, because I have a vivid memory of being in like second year of university and like showing everybody Memento. But let's
Have
not,
I told you
well,
my Memento story?
we'll get to it too, because I feel like we're talking about too many of these movies now. At some
Okay.
point, we'll get into the category. So, I guess let's just go straight into it. Let me start with you.
Mhm.
What's your what we'll do is that we'll both share our favorite Nolan films, discuss them, and then we'll share what we think is his
It's
best.
his best. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if we have 4 different picks for this. So, yeah, let me start with you. What is your favorite Nolan film?
Do you think I've been too obvious about it? Or are you still,
I mean, do you mean from this recorded or just in life?
disrecording?
No, because what I thought was your pick from life has not been mentioned yet. So
Okay.
I'm quite
This is
surprised.
very, very interesting. My favorite Nolan is Inception.
Really?
Yes. It just is. What
So
did you
that was
think it
the
was going
vibe
to
I
be?
got from this. Interstellar. I thought it was going to be Interstellar.
Oh, no. Definitely not.
Do you know how much you love it? I mean, do you know how
Wait.
much you've spoken about
No.
Interstellar?
I love Interstellar, but
Yeah.
I can't remember what I realized recently that made me kind of. Okay, so yes, I love Interstellar because of the cinematic experience. I remember that's what
Okay.
it was. Like to me, my mind was literally blown because that was one of the first
Mm-hmm.
times I was going to the cinema, and then Interstellar happened. I still remember all the scenes, and I remember walking out. And I promise you, this is not even a joke. I remember when what's her name? Anne
Anne
Hathaway's
Hathaway.
character. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
she like does the whole fly away thing. And I remember leaving the cinema like, wow, I was when you talk about a spiritual experience, that's how I felt about Interstellar.
Yeah.
But Inception is just me. Like
Let's
it's
talk
just
about this, because
more me.
spoiler alert, this is one of the films I revisited for this Nolan episode.
Inception?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the ones where I've always like just known that I like it. I know it's a good
Mm-hmm.
movie, but I don't have like Ayo loves
Yeah.
Inception. Like I don't have a relationship to Inception like that. You know the
Mm-hmm.
way like it's like bang. I watch again banger movie, and I'm going to let you talk. I promise, because it's your pick. I watch again banger movie and everything, and I was like, yeah, like I have no. But it's just like I think maybe because I just have a different Nolan that I love, right? It was like so like I was like, but like I cannot. If this is your pick, like I think I think it's a banger movie. Sorry, go ahead, talk about
Do you
Inception.
know how insane Inception is? Because it is a spy action thriller heist sci-fi movie, bro. Like there is so many elements of that film that gets you off your seat. And even in revisiting Inception, obviously with like a little bit older, a little bit wiser, I realized there's so many lines and scenes where Nolan was like, no, I made a good film, but I'm also going to make this thing cool as fuck. Like these people are going to say things.
That's my Letterboxd review when I watched it last week. I was like, is this Nolan's coolest film?
Bro, he's like, these people are going to do cool things, say cool things, because yeah, they should be cool. Like they're, corporate espionage people.
Yeah. I think the biggest criticism for Tenet is Inception.
Yes, exactly. Right. It's like if Tenet was good enough, people would be more willing to just vibe.
Oh yeah, just be like, I like Tenet, but just like you've done this before, but better.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and I think that's the biggest issue with it, because like I was watching Inception, I was like, oh, these are all the things that Tenet could have been.
Speaking of, and I've said so many things about why I think Inception is a cool film, like the meshing of genres, the interesting characters, the storyline, all of that. But the raw concept that they're working with Inception, it's I don't want to overuse the word cool, but it's very, unique. I wouldn't say original.
I also think it might be Leo's coolest role.
It might be what?
Leo's coolest role.
Yeah. He has that American propaganda movie.
Which
Or
one?
am I thinking about the wrong one? No. It's not him. Never mind.
What happens in the movie?
I was thinking of American Made. That's Brad Pitt. Not Brad Pitt. No, that's Tom Cruise.
Is that? I haven't even seen that. Is that Tom? Yeah. Is that a cool film?
Yeah, it's like he's a pilot. He does cool shit.
No.
But it might be Leo's coolest role.
I don't. Yeah,
but also the most Leo role, like killing his wife away from his kids.
It's also the most Nolan role.
Yeah.
That might be the most, like, one of the main things that when people talk about Nolan is like obviously him inserting his protagonists as avatars for him, right? And that Leo in Inception might be the most Nolan character. Like the hair, the dressing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that might be the most Nolan character on screen.
That actually does make me now worry about Nolan's relationship with his wife.
Okay, right? So I mentioned this last week, and we'll mention it again because I think it's impossible to do a Nolan episode without mentioning it. One of the biggest things about people's criticism about Nolan has been like the dead wife trope. But he's come out and said, in what I believe is maybe the most romantic thing anybody has ever said out in public, he was like, all his characters, like, well, not obviously, but all these characters are like, they've lost their wives or they are searching for their children or both, because to him, that's the most painful thing he can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can't imagine a world like to him.
If he wants a character to be in pain,
like
they
to
lose
him,
their
that's the worst thing he can imagine. Like if he lost Emma Thomas's wife and his children right now, like he feels like that's the worst. And I was like, fair enough, man.
That is
fair
fucking enough. Because if I was consistently writing scripts about, and I had to think about characters whose wives died, I would go to bed and kiss my wife a little harder. Every night. It's like endless romance because my mind is always on dead wives. So
think about his characters. Like one loses his wife and loses the memory. Another one loses his wife and is keeping her in dream.
Another one loses too. Oh God, man.
Yeah, I skip Prestige in that whole thing just now. Yes, Prestige.
Batman loses Rachel in terrible circumstances.
I forgot about Rachel. Oh my God.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, they keep on dying. I mean, Oppenheimer loses a girlfriend.
Very brutally.
And his wife was like, "Fuck you! You don't get to do that and can't make us feel sad for you." Yeah, no. So once he said that, I was like, "Fair enough, man. Yeah, you got it. Like, go do what you're doing." But let's stay on Inception. Because again, like I said, I said it.
If we stay on Inception, I'm gonna try and like give a kind of succinct reason why it's my favorite. Because
go ahead, don't be succinct.
I love Interstellar, and obviously I love The Dark Knight. Which I love The Dark Knight, but
wait, why
Inception?
Why that?
I'm just saying, Inception is a movie that might have been made for me because if you know me, you know that I love an action adventure film. And to me, Inception hits all the beats of what I deem a great action adventure film. And these are like extremely personal opinions. I don't think they're a necessity to make a great action adventure film, but they're just
Mhm.
things that I like. So, for example, I like stakes, right? Obviously, but I also like what can I say? I like
Get to the team together.
switching. I like anything together, but I like switching the balance of power as the story progresses. Like, yes, there
Mm.
are stakes, and at one point you think this person knows what's happening, and then actually no, they don't know what's happening, and there's new information that's fucking them up. And then I love different locations where it feels like a video game where you're progressing through. So if you're someone like me who likes all these things and someone makes Inception, it's like they're making it for you.
Yeah.
Three
Yeah.
different dream levels, three different like ways in which time is passing, three different they have to they have to achieve their objective in the three different locations with different styles. Right? Like one of them is like pure action running away. The other one is the deception in the hotel. And the
Yeah.
last one is like a break-in typical action type of thing, right? And yeah, so for me it's not the perfect action adventure, but it hits all the right beats with an amazing, interesting concept.
I like I said, I rewatched this. I rewatched Memento, and I rewatched most of Prestige. I didn't get to finish it because of life. Again, all these movies I've seen them enough times. Um, but something I realized, I can't say for certain if he does this in Tenet, but I think he does. How do I put this? Nolan is a serious filmmaker, quote unquote, right? But he also never he doesn't waste time convincing you that he's making a sci-fi film.
And I love it.
He just drops you
One
into
of my
it.
favorite things about Inception, literally, is exactly what you just said. One of my favorite things about Inception is the fact that we know that Eames is a forger, whatever that means. And in the dream, he just looks like whoever he wants to look like.
Yeah.
And
He's
then,
and I was like, "Oh shit, he's a forger." Okay.
yeah,
Like I was
there's no explanation for how he does it. He just looks differently to the dreamer.
I think I was rewatching Prestige, and he just has Nicholas Tesla creates this literal magic machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, there is no he's not explaining it, he's not apologizing for doing it. He's just like, that is the role.
Yeah, it happened.
It's just you just like normally like guys like and I was thinking about it, like all of Nolan's films are actually batshit crazy. Like he hasn't like his most normal film is Up and okay, I guess Dunkirk, but like even at that, it's like he's playing with time, obviously. But like I was like, yeah, normally like these guys want to like I don't know if it's a different time. They want to apologize, like, oh, I'm sorry that I'm making a sci-fi film
Or
with
they
fantasy or
think it would
whatever.
make it better if they had some sort of explanation. Like, let me add depth. Let me add like
A
reason
science
for the
angle. It's just like no.
exactly.
Tesla makes a machine that disappears what sorry, not multiplicates state. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he does it. Inception within 3 minutes, just like we steal from dreams. It's not like, and there is no on that flight, that first
Mm-hmm.
flight with I can't remember his name now, but the Japanese guy,
Sado.
Joseph
Yeah.
Gordon-Levitt, and Leo. Usually in a film or in a script, there's a skeptic in that scene.
Yeah.
Not a skeptic of like Inception, just a skeptic of the whole thing. Is like, no, that's not true. That's
Mm-hmm.
not real. In this, everybody just agrees that it's a thing. Like Cillian Murphy already has like protection. Like it's just like in this world, it's a thing and we're moving on. I was like, yeah, he doesn't feel the need to explain or apologize for doing these genre films. And I really, really, really like that. Yeah.
Speaking about the start of Inception, you just reminded me of something. So I rewatched Inception in prep for this, right? I and then it actually got me thinking, is the first I would put the first 10, 15 minutes of Inception up there with everything else in the history of movies as no, as an introduction to that world based
uh,
on what you just described, where it's like there's no apology, there's no explanation. If the movie had those first 10, 15 minutes, then as soon as they get on that helicopter, Seido is like, I have a mission for you, and then you have a title drop, Inception.
Yeah.
That is like how those first 10, 15 minutes felt.
It's like a Bond cold open. Like a James Bond cold open.
Exactly.
I have a left field. Obviously, these are not the two best introductions to a world ever made. But I have a left field pick that just came to my head when you're saying that.
Okay, let's see.
Sicario.
Sicario is another insane one, because I love, one of my favorite things I love in movies is when a movie surprises me, right? And Sicario sits on that table. House of Cards as a show sits on that table as well, where I'm just like, okay, let me press play on this whatever, and then
in the first 5 minutes of Sicario, there's an armored van driving into a building.
Listen,
there's a gunfight. There are bodies in the wall. There's a bomb in the outside.
I'm just like, what the? Where the fuck have you dropped me in?
It's like Juarez. Oh, don't worry. I want to do this again for Denis later in the year, so we'll talk about Sicario, I'm sure. Denis and Nolan, obviously two very good friends whose careers are way more similar than like you would think at first glance. Like they clearly both like the same. Like Denis doing a Bond film is so on brand. Like you can be happy about it or not, but like it's so on brand. Same way, like if Nolan was doing a Bond film 10 years ago, it would be like they clearly like have the same interest. Like Nolan obviously wanted to do a Bond film. That's why he did Deception. That's why he did Tenet. So I was like, they're not giving him Bond, so he went and did it. Same way Spielberg wanted to do Bond, so he did Indiana Jones. Yeah, and like they clearly have the same interest, the same likes. They clearly think about cinema the same way. I don't think it's a coincidence that they're now kind of really very good friends, but also kind of working with the same people. Like you have the Zendayas, the Florence Pughs, the Emily Blunt, like the Clay, Roger Deakins. No, Nolan hasn't done with Deakins. Yeah, he hasn't done with Deakins. That's weird. Nolan never showed. Anyway, but yeah, they're very, very similar. And then you think about it, like now Denis is finishing his own Dark Knight trilogy, essentially. Like his own like dip into populist fare. Right. And then it's just if anything, he's done more, like Denis has done more grounded quote unquote films than Nolan, with your Prisoners and your Sicarios. But yeah, I was thinking about
shout out to Nolan, man. Like literally the intro where you're like, you mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger. What would the world be without the dream? A lot of people who want to make movies about a bullet traveling backwards. Like, what would we have?
This is another, just as we stay on Inception, another thing about when I was saying about like he doesn't waste time, and we talked about this a bit last week with Priscilla as well, is like Nolan is who he is, right? He wears his suit every day to set. He's as British as they come, which is very funny because Jonathan, his brother, is as American as they come. So people, and he doesn't have a phone, famously. Like you even talk to him, he needs to talk to his wife, Emma Thomas. So people have this idea of Nolan.
Brother.
you don't think it's true?
No, I know it's true, but I'm like, his assistant probably has a phone.
Oh yeah, everybody around him, his wife has a phone. Like he himself doesn't have a phone. And I just think like people have this idea of who he is, right? And we talked about this with Priscilla last week as well. I don't think he can't be that person and write a line like you mustn't be afraid to dream. Like he's clearly a guy who likes like he's on record as loving the Fast and Furious movies. That Tokyo Drift is his favorite one.
Like not even, guys, this isn't Baki trolling, by the way. This is like real life.
Record. And I watched the interview, I was like, oh, he's just trying to get people to sit up. And this guy was talking, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I did not know. I wasn't
familiar with your game.
So yeah, no, I think like he's clearly a guy that like, and also like him and Jonathan have worked together a lot, and I want them to go back and do another movie together. I think there was a sentiment, which is still there in Nolan movies, but I think there was something in when he was writing with Jonathan that just, it was a little bit more emotional, just a tiny bit. Like I think, what are the Jonathan? I mean, Interstellar is like the main one.
Yeah.
Obviously, Memento is based on it.
Was Interstellar not the one that Jonathan basically saved? That everyone was like, the original treatment of this film would have been trash.
That's
if
possible.
he didn't
That's
rewrite
possible.
it.
I think Spielberg was meant to direct it.
Maybe.
And then
Yeah.
then Jonathan was like, if you're not doing it, I know someone that wants to do it. Like, I give it to my brother. But I think Jonathan came in and did that. I can't remember which other movies they did together. I think they have done at least one of the Batmans together. But I don't know. I just felt like there was a little bit more emotional. Not, again, his movies are quite blatantly emotional. I mean, sometimes it be too much. I'm not saying it doesn't have them. Like, with Jonathan, I don't know. There's a lot in the script. Like there's a sequence in Interstellar, a movie that I think I'm on record saying that like I really like but don't love. Like I don't like. I love the first 2/3 of that movie. Like I think I don't know. I don't want to get into Interstellar again, but I think the first hour is an excellent family drama. I think the second hour is like some of the best space shit some of the best space we've ever seen. I think when it gets into the Library of Love, I get a little bit. I get a
Your
bit like.
vibe, twin.
I guess
Vibe.
I guess it's vibes. But that's a movie that just turning Interstellar is a second. That's a movie that like that's the movie of our generation, I think.
Interstellar.
Yeah.
So
the way guys talk about it, the way it sells out every time it goes on resale.
yeah. So
I
that's
think
what I'm
that's the
saying.
movie
Like
of our generation.
I feel like Interstellar was the first IMAX thing. That's like obviously the first time I saw it was in IMAX. I feel in my generation, amongst people around my age, Interstellar was the first IMAX movie that everybody was like, you have to see this film in IMAX. I think it was that, and then I can't remember what came after, but I remember Interstellar was the same way Avatar was like the 3D movie in 2008.
Yeah.
To me, Interstellar was the IMAX movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Should we did there's Inception? Anything else you want to say?
My thing on Inception, I said like I feel like it's
yeah.
also very representative of who Nolan is, and it's also what I feel like people have been getting wrong for years. And I've almost never seen anyone bring this up. Actually, I've never seen anyone bring it. This was an original thought that I realized when rewatching Inception.
Okay.
So drum roll, please.
Okay.
So I feel like Nolan put this in to test the real vibers from the cinema sins watchers. No, honestly, because I'm going to speak about the ending and the top. What do you think about like the top and the ending?
Like what do I think it means?
No. Do you think Cobb is dreaming? Do you think?
I don't think he's dreaming.
You think it's real, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Me, right? I think the top is irrelevant. People are always like, oh, did the top wobble, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's irrelevant for two reasons. One, the totem isn't even Cobb's, right?
On rewatch, I do understand that. But yes,
the
continue.
totem isn't
I was so confused about that.
And the second most important thing is that your totem lets you know when you are in someone else's dream. If it is your dream, your totem will behave the way you know it's to behave. So it's actually not a good test of if you are dreaming. Your totem is only supposed to be able to tell you if I am in your dream, Banky, because you don't know, because when you think of a top, it always the dream world, the top will eventually fall. But I know that like my top keeps spinning, right? So if Cobb was dreaming at the end, his top will behave exactly the way he needs it to behave to keep himself in the delusion. So that whole zoom into the top was a fake out. It doesn't matter because that top is irrelevant. But yeah, I feel like he's not dreaming. But again, does it even matter?
I was going to use that section as a pull out for social media, but then I lost track and I was like, no, let the real watchers listen to it in the actual episode. No, I mean, I think Nolan is on record saying that the whole point is that it doesn't matter. Like, it's like, but I was watching now, I was like, story wise, he has to be real. Like, I was even thinking about like, where would he, like, at what point would he have entered somebody else's dream? Like, I was like,
no, it could have been his dream. Like those people in Morocco. Was that where they were?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they just go and dream for hours on end.
So it would have been after, well, would they have been after the heist on the plane?
No, maybe on the plane, they gave him a little extra dose of the sedative. When he got down, they arrested him, locked him in isolation, and Sato kept paying them to pump him full of sedatives to keep him dreaming.
So people are just creating like their own sequel. No, I think like I was thinking about.
Speaking of sequel, okay, you go.
So I have a take and a question, which I think was kind of answered on my rewatch. But I've been thinking about this since this movie started happening. So the idea is you spin it, And if it's real world, it will eventually fall.
Yes.
So here's my question, which is a bit of a pissy question.
Mhm.
I agree, but like, it's like, how long do you wait?
For it to fall.
What if it's a very good spinner?
So
What if I train in the Beyblade,
no.
gyms?
So I think the concept of it is that if I'm in your dream, Banky,
Mm-hmm.
your subconscious wouldn't pay enough attention to detail to make the top wobble, right? That when I'm in a dream, the top always continues spinning.
But like, what
When
does
I'm in
always
someone
mean?
else's dream.
Like,
When I'm in someone
uh,
else's dream.
so
Like
how long do you wait to see if
What?
it's falling?
No, but we saw that the laws of physics don't really apply to these people when they're in the dream world. So I know that if I'm in your dream, Banky, you're the dreamer. If I spin my top, it's not going to fall down. It's just an accepted rule that everybody's totem behaves the way they want it to behave.
No, I
in the dream.
understand it in theory.
Yeah.
This is a stupid question, just a jokey question. I thought in theory it's like, if after 3 minutes it's still wobbling,
Yeah,
like,
you're
do
like,
you?
okay. Yeah,
You're like, this is a dream.
yeah.
So you shoot yourself.
Because if
Fair.
after 3 minutes it then starts to wobble, that maybe means the dreamer has realized that this
Okay.
thing should have fallen down.
So, but then how long do you? What if after 30 seconds it's still spinning, and then you shoot
Mhm.
yourself thinking it's a dream, but it actually was real life?
Please,
This is a
man,
very
don't
good spinner. Like,
And it's so funny because whenever he does it, he doesn't even wait. He just
that's what I'm saying. I was like, shouldn't there be like a time we say, okay, after 60 seconds, then we
Mhm.
decide. Anyways, let's go to my. I don't know. Is that my Inception you want to say? I think
Fantastic film. I feel like,
there's.
okay, yes, speaking of sequels, I need, capital need, pretty please, cherry on top, ice cream on top, an Inception prequel / sequel of Eames, Tom Hardy's character. Because he was such a stealth main character in that film
Mhm.
that every little thing, they'll be like, oh yeah, I did this like that time in this way. Oh, I've done this here. Oh, this reminds me of, and I'm like, bro, I want to know more about this guy. Like, what has he done?
But there's I can't remember, let me look at it while we're talking. There's the whole like comparison between like Cobb's team and like a filmmaker's thing,
Oh
right?
yeah, and
And
it's like
I assume Eames is the actor,
maybe
which kind of makes sense because
actually.
like they've lived all these lives and then they come to
Yeah,
the set to do that.
fair,
Yeah, because
fair
I didn't
actually.
look it up, but in my head it was like, obviously Cobb is the director, Nolan. Architect is.
I think they said architect was not architect, sorry. JGL's character, I think they said was the producer, where they're
Oh, I
important in
think no,
setting the
I
plan.
think producer is Sato. JGL
Okay.
is the
Oh yeah,
first AD.
Sato is the bankroll. Yeah.
Yeah, JGL is the first AD, is like getting
Fair.
everything kind of where it needs to be, but also sometimes they're accused of not being creative enough. Who else? I
Architect
had
can be
someone as
script
DP.
screenwriter.
Yeah, I think, or the DP.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's clashes and things like that. Yeah. Anyway, I think we can move on. Anything that you want to talk about your favorite? Why is your? I mean,
I don't know,
you've
man.
discussed
Like
why it's your favorite Nolan. I don't like.
why it is. It's just like I
Yeah,
said.
we've
I've
discussed that.
spoken at length about why I love it. If I'm going to bring it now back to the Nolan angle, I think this movie is the Nolan movie that is most Nolan. Like big ideas, cool characters, extreme vibing, stop looking for plot holes, just enjoy, right? So for me, it's like the most Nolan film that he's made.
Fair. And like we said, it's also the most Nolan standing in terms of like Cobb. I mean, he's done it. I was thinking about it, and obviously there's a lot of stuff been said about Leo's involvement in the development of this film. How he was like really kind of on Nolan to like fine tune the script and everything. I really want Nolan to work with with a movie star like that again. One as demanding as like as Leo, someone as demanding
You
and
know
as like
something
Leonard.
I was thinking about while thinking about Nolan and everything, blah blah. I need to see. You know how we had McConaughey in Interstellar?
Mm-hmm.
I need to see Nolan branch out from his regular guys. Like I need
Yeah,
to
I was
see.
like, I mean, he's doing that a bit with Odyssey. Like, but this Odyssey
Yeah.
cast is so big. Like, I
Yeah.
forgot Charlize Theron was in that movie.
You know something funny? Apparently, in Oppenheimer,
Mm-hmm.
he did a trick that he's repeating for the Odyssey, which
Which
is
is,
he casts Oppenheimer has like 20 random fucking scientists, but he
mm-hmm,
casts like well-known people. So you're like, oh,
mm-hmm.
like that's Jack Cade, like that's a scientist that is completely separate from Benny Safdie. I'm not going to mix
Yeah.
them up. So yeah,
Yeah, and he also kind of, yeah, you're right, because he also kind of cast people like well known, but also not too well known, kind of
yeah,
like, yeah, which is I think what he's doing here again is like, I'm not, when I leave that movie, I said I'm not going to be replying to their names like Menescus or whatever. I'm like,
Telemachus.
oh, Charlize Theron. I'm like, oh, Benny Safdie did that. Like,
Oh,
okay, can you guess mine before?
uh,
I feel like you have a, I feel like you should have a good
I
idea.
feel like I have. So what gives me pause is that I wonder if your favorite would be what you think is his best.
It's not.
Okay, it's not. Uh, it's not Interstellar,
No.
and I don't
How
think
funny
it's
would it be if it was Interstellar after everything I just said?
and I don't think it's Inception. Okay,
Mhm.
so for me, it's between Dark Knight and Memento.
Not that huge a fan of, like, I again like Dark Knight, and I know it's a
Hmm.
great movie and it's one of the best superhero movies ever made, but maybe the best. But like, I'm not just like, hey, roll up the Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
that's
just like on my
fair.
couch and like roll up Dark Knight. Like,
Do you want to know something funny?
yeah,
I'm a wheel up the first 10 minutes of the Dark Knight
yeah,
guy.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
We could even roll up the first 10 minutes of Dark Knight Rises with the Bane. Like,
Bro,
like, it's
listen, man.
mine is Memento.
Fair. Completely fair, by
Memento,
the way.
Memento is probably the first movie I remember being obsessed with.
Hmm.
As an adult. The first one I got obsessed with was Bulletproof Monk. Um, with Chow Yun Fat on DSTV. Um,
Wait,
yes.
imagine it. Is this what I think it is?
Yes, Bulletproof Monk,
Oh
yes.
my God. Fair enough, Sha. Fun,
Uh,
very fun movie. I'm going to put it
very,
on my
very fun
list.
movie. Memento, one of the movies that I watched it and I showed it to everybody. Like whenever I was in Southampton and I'll come to London, I'm like, oh, I'm Sunday night to somebody. I'm like, let's watch Memento. I haven't seen you in 3 years. Let's watch Memento. It was like I couldn't. So you know how people talk about Pulp Fiction.
Hmm.
I don't know. You might not know this because you're saying and you're not listening to every film podcast out there. People talk about Pulp Fiction the way that like it kind of broke what you expected from movies.
From a movie, yeah.
They were like, oh, you could make a movie out of order like this, right? It kind of gave people the freedom to do that. Everybody's doing now 30 years later. Memento broke my brain in terms of
What is
filmmaking that way
possible?
as well. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you can tell a movie backwards?
Oh my God. See,
Like,
this is
think about it. I was like,
no, Memento
what?
is fucking insane. One of my favorite things about Memento, which I didn't realize back then why I loved it, but I realize now more as I watch more things, is that Memento is just so perfectly tight.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
and it's
It's
like
ridiculous.
there is
There
no
isn't a line
fats.
of dialogue that
Yeah.
doesn't need to be there. Like everything is either to the plot that is going on or to the overarching like
Mm-hmm.
story. Like it's ridiculous. And I've watched that movie like I've watched it now so many times and I don't think I can see any new clues.
Yeah.
Like I think I just know all the clues now and everything. There's something that's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But it's so like the structure is so like obviously not the first half, but the first half in chronological order plays chronologically, and then the back half plays backwards. And it's partly a flex, but also needs to be there because if you don't tell it
Mm-hmm.
that way, the story doesn't work.
That is actually partially what I said or what I thought about this movie. Because it's like you could tell this movie in like a traditional way,
Mhm.
right? There is a sort of meta flex there to tell the story backwards because yeah.
But then also like it works because you're confused, like this
Mm-hmm.
guy. Like when he's like one of the maybe the funniest line in this movie is like, okay, what's going on? Oh, I'm chasing this guy. Nope, he's chasing me. It's like,
That entire scene is like, I feel like I watch that scene on YouTube from time to time.
pros- yeah, no. So I think, and I love this movie. I think, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's the most like it's Nolan before he became a Hollywood director, or whatever. Like we've established, I like all his movies, but there's just something here that was just kind of like straight to the point and blew my brain and wasn't like it's kind of like Inception in a way as well, but like to me, Inception only gets confusing when people are trying to explain it.
Yeah.
Like just now when you were doing the totem thing, I was like, fuck, I'm kind of lost. But like if you ask me to explain Inception, I can explain it because
Mhm.
I'm not confused about Inception. I don't know how like it's not that yeah.
Yeah, same. Like I've
Same,
never felt like
yeah,
Inception
same
was
thing with
confusing.
Memento. I think it's kind of pretty straightforward. But like if somebody else starts to explain something to you, you're like, whoa, wait, calm down. You're like, this is like so like it's I love this movie. I think it's just like the layering, the structure, like the things that he puts into this movie, like I can't remember when, maybe it was the second time I watched it, third time I watched it, where I just realized that like the way he layers like everybody kind of taking advantage of Lenny. Like it kind of starts with the hotel clerk, which is kind of like the
Yes.
most trivial one, and then it goes to Carrie Ann Moss, and then I think it's like a personality test, whichever one you want to like. Who is worse, Carrie Ann Moss or Joey Pants? Like Natalie or Teddy? Who is the worst person there? Actually, let me ask you that question: who do you think is worse?
At the risk of sounding stodgy, right? I've
It's
always felt
Natalie.
it was
It's
Natalie.
Natalie. It's Natalie.
I've always
She's
felt it was her.
so
And like
it's
I
so
felt that way when I was
evil.
young and I watched the film. And I'm older now and I still feel that way.
It's so bro, that scene where she's like, I am gonna do this, and I'm telling you because I know you can't do anything. And maybe your wife, you got this disease because your wife's your cunt of your wife sucked too many cocks.
Bro.
Jesus
And then she
Christ.
walked out. Oh god, no man.
She walked out and waited. And
Terrifying.
this is why the structure works so well, because like we start that scene by seeing her coming. So
Yes.
we're in his head. We're like, oh shit, what happened to her? And then we see her wait. I'm like, oh fuck, you are evil. You are evil. I think Teddy was like he helped him find the guy.
He did.
Lenny didn't remember. He's like, okay, we'll make some money. I don't like fine.
Like, yeah,
But
he
then
was
the
sleazy.
biggest thing is that the movie ends with the biggest betrayal of all and the biggest kind of whatever. And it is Lenny betraying himself.
Yes.
Lenny uses his disease to kind of
But
take advantage of himself.
isn't
Yeah.
isn't that like twin ending to Shutter Island almost when you think about it?
Well, no, because Shutter Island is also insane 2010 from DiCaprio to
Yeah.
have those two movies in the same year. Like, bro, what's going on, man? Do you want to stay in reality? But Shutter Island is like, no, because
Because
he's,
Leo pretends like he doesn't know, right?
but that's
You
because he
know,
feels like he needs to be punished or at
yes.
least like contained.
Mm-hmm.
Lenny is is gaslighting himself to kill
Yes.
someone else.
Yes.
That's
Just so
terrible.
he can act like, you know, he's completed or so he can keep searching.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
also, it's not just no, but he's not just killing a random person. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I think my thing about it is like he knows that this man that he's killing is not the
Is
killer.
innocent, yeah.
And he's basically and like the whole thing about the movie is like he's like, I keep my facts straight, my handwriting is what lets me
Mm-hmm.
know. People take advantage, I'm doing everything. And it's like, oh no, you actually taking advantage of
Your own
yourself.
self. Like he's using
Yeah.
it because he knows he'll be able to justify it. Like he's tricking
Mhm.
himself.
Yeah, it's like
Crazy.
all the things are there, you're a John G.
Yeah.
All I need to do is put your license plate. And I was just like, what I think it might be the second time that I kind of saw all of those things, and I was just like, yeah, this is kind of crazy. I really like. It's one of those things where you called it when we're doing MC 12, you called it first movers privilege, and I've kind of had this with things as well, like things like I think Civil War, not Civil War, sorry, Winter Soldier. I think like so I don't know how to quantify this theory, but I think it's like some things need to be so like ridiculously good for them to overcome something that was good to you first, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm. But
like it's like
one thing I will say though is that sometimes something comes in the middle and it's just so, like you said, ridiculously good that it almost ruins the entire genre for you. And I'm not going to mention the film that's on my mind because I feel like it'll come up when we do this episode for another director. But yeah, I haven't been able to watch any Alien.
Nah, just say it because
I haven't been able to love
that'll be so far
Alien
away.
IP. Like ever since I saw Arrival, I'm just like,
I knew that.
yeah,
Are you? Oh my god, you and Ayo should get together. Are you an Arrival
bro,
person as well? Is that your thing?
don't joke with
Is
me.
that
I
your
say
Denny?
to people that if I like, I'm not religious, but if I was religious, Arrival would be my religion. Like this is not
Have you watched
a
Disclosure
joke.
Day?
Yeah, of course I was just gonna do.
That's such a perfect description of Disclosure Day. I'm not religious, but only just
Yeah,
Arrival will be my
honestly, it's no. Arrival is
um
my shit.
yeah, I mean, I this is so funny because I'm gonna make sure Ayo listens to this episode actually. Because he watched Project Hail Mary, which obviously I loved. Did you watch Project Hail Mary?
Yeah,
Did you like it?
yeah, I like Project Hail Mary.
Did you love it?
Love is a stretch, but
Yeah,
I thought it
okay,
was
that's
good.
fine.
I
So
enjoyed it.
I think Ayo gave it maybe 3.5 stars and a heart on Letterboxd. So I messaged him. I was like 3.5. Boo, 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 boo. You don't like fun, whatever. Like, and he was like, actually, I don't even know. Let me just find the exact words. Okay, no, but he was like, no, I like the movie. I'm just someone who's seen Arrival. I was like, fuck you.
Literally, that's how I feel about so much Alien property now. I'm just like, oh god, okay. And to make it worse, Disclosure Day now gave us those 70s style green Martians.
What if that's how they look? Do you know more about them than Steven Spielberg? Steven Spielberg is like their best friend. I'm trying to think of best way to actually examine women. I mean, like all Nolan films, there's like a question leaving at the end, like, oh, do you think this is real or whatever? But like, I think I believe everything. Let me put it. Rule of thumb for me in this movie, I believe everything Teddy says.
Okay.
Which kind of might be
Yeah.
counterintuitive. Yeah, but like, I believe him.
But you have to make the film work. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that Lenny kills his wife. Like, I believe that whole story is about Lenny.
Accidentally.
Yeah, obviously accidentally. Yeah. I don't know. I really, really like this movie. But I've spoken about Memento. I guess you go ahead and talk about Memento.
No, I'm just going to echo what you said. I'm going to I have a really funny Memento story. Mom, Dad, look away or listen away. But
do they listen normally?
Should I tell you guys how powerful Memento is?
Oh my god.
20-year-old me, right? Have I told you this story before?
Yeah, I know this story.
Okay, yeah, I think I was 20, 21, maybe around that age. I don't remember exactly. And I'm talking to somebody at the club, and yeah, I'm like, yo, I like movies. She's like, oh my god, I love movies. And she's like, oh, she likes movies with like a plot twist. And I'm like, yo, you have to watch Memento. And she's like, yeah, I'll watch it. I was like, no, you have to watch Memento. Long story short, right? I'm like, okay, let's watch Memento tonight, right? Let's go back to your place and watch Memento. At this point, you know how they do in the movies, like, oh yeah, let's go for coffee. Let me show you my painting. But this girl is probably thinking, yeah, okay, like this, yeah, we're going to watch Memento. I am sorry, but proud to say that, ladies and gentlemen, we go home and I put on Memento at 3 a.m. And I was looking at her every 5 minutes. Like, are you watching this
watching
shit
Memento
right now?
drunk is kind of crazy. Like,
what?
I don't even know like if I could get through the 2 hours.
No. I was like, we're watching Memento. Even if we don't finish it tonight, you must start. And you know what's so funny? Now that I think about it, that's the kind of thing you don't do if you're sober, because you realize how insane you're being. But
yeah,
I was like,
but also most people don't do it when they're drunk either, because other things are going through their mind at that point.
Oh my! I don't even know why. I think that was the point where it was either like a year after I had seen Memento, or I had just rewatched it. Right? Yeah, I had just rewatched it.
Same thing with me. I feel like if you watch that movie, you just want to show everybody.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, you have to see. I
your
still have a
stories-
very vivid like memory of it, and she must have been so annoyed. And I didn't even realize it then. Like this girl's thinking, is this serious right now?
Send me a handle. Let me get on the podcast for her own point of view.
I will do no such thing.
Let's hear how you don't want to platform women. I want to hear what she thinks about this whole situation. Your story
Listen
reminds
up next week,
because everything I do relates to How I Met Your Mother. I remember a thing where one of Barney's things was like, you should have something in your
In your
house that's interesting enough for them to come, but not interesting enough for them to stay, that they forget why they came here. Now, most people would think Let's Watch Memento is in the
Is an
first
innuendo,
category.
yeah.
It's like, oh, they can come to watch Memento, but they never stay. But for you, it's like, well, watching this movie, you're telling me what you thought about
Yeah.
Lenny. No, this is like, so this is my favorite Nolan film, Memento. Should we go to what we think are his best films?
His best, yeah, man. I actually do want to ask you, like, was this tough for you?
It was tough because I don't think I even have an answer. Because I could argue to you that I think Memento is his best film.
Okay.
But it seems weird to say when I was thinking about that because, like, he has evolved so much as a filmmaker since Memento. So I can't really be like, that's his best because we know he can do so much more than that. Which is, I don't even know if that's an objective way of deciding it, but I was just like, if somebody scores like 30 goals in the championship, like, but we know they can score 20 in the Premier League. I can't say that 30
That's
was
their
their best season.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, because
I
we've seen,
get you.
no matter how good those 30 goals were, even if they're all worldies. So, like, it's weird. Memento is firmly my best. I don't think that will ever change, honestly. It's one of those things, like, because the farther we go from it, the more I watch the movie, the more it ingrains in my stuff. The more we do podcasts like this. I don't think you ever actually
And people
change,
have tried, but they just haven't, like, been able to. I haven't seen anything that's quite like Memento.
But that's the thing I was going to say about Pulp Fiction. You can go out and make more movies than Out of Order and all of that stuff, right? Yeah, you can say you're riffing on Pulp Fiction. You can't make another movie backwards. You just cannot.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's just one of those things, like, it's fucked because, like, he changed the game, but nobody else can do it again.
Can copy it, yeah. Because part of the way the film works is that it only works because of the specific set of conditions that he's set up.
Yeah. It's just even him has, like, he has done versions of riffing on it, like Tenet, like the whole, like he mentioned that he had, because obviously the movie starts with the backward shot of the gun going, the bullet going back into the gun. It was like that image was in his head all through. It was like he did take it in Tenet. So, like, he's gone back and riffed on, like, the whole black and white. He's riffed on things from Memento, but, like, he cannot outright do it because it's just like, it's a one of one. It's a thing that you just cannot do unless you're outrightly saying, I am making Mementos. Like, it's like I'm just like doing a Memento again. But yeah, no, was this hard for you as well to pick your best?
Do you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
I was like, which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? And I was actually in the middle of rewatching movies. I was like, hold on, I forgot it, but it is obviously this one. And for me, it's like,
let's take a pause. Let's take a pause. I want to talk about what I think. Because I want to talk about what I think are underrated films, but I don't think. Let's do it after.
Okay,
let's do it after, just in case.
What can be an underrated Nolan? Because I do want to talk about underrated. I also want to talk about your least favorites, right? But what can be an underrated? Insomnia?
Yes.
Yeah.
So to me,
that's
Insomnia,
like, that's the film bro in you coming out. Not to say Insomnia isn't great, but like most people know Insomnia.
But that's to me, I think Insomnia is outright his most underrated film. Like, just outright. Like, people just don't know it. Like, that's just like, I mean, fair, he doesn't, I think the main thing is that he doesn't write that movie. It's somebody else's script, but like, it's so different. Have you seen Insomnia?
I've seen Insomnia. That's Robin Williams
and Al Pacino.
And he's like, it's hiding,
hilarious. It's a Fincher film directed by Nolan. Like, it's a murder mystery where you know who the murderer is. Like, it's a really, really good film. It's just flat out is most underrated. But then I think most people have Prestige.
You think Prestige is underrated?
I was rewatching it, like I said, and I was like, this movie is really again, it's another movie that just drops you in. It's like, fuck you.
People
magic.
People love the Prestige. Like, people who love the Prestige, they love the Prestige.
Yeah. So I call it underrated because it doesn't really come up on anybody's top lists.
I struggle with the Prestige simply because of the fact that I think Borden.
Use their actors' names, please.
I hate Christopher Bale's character. Like,
Christian Bale. Hate him. Like, so it's
hate
funny
as in, like, he deserved everything that happened to him, and I hate that he ended the movie on top. Like, that literally sours the film a little bit for me.
But he doesn't know what knot he tied.
Oh, please, man. Nigga was deliberating on not.
a long time ago, Baba, friend of the podcast, once asked me like who I thought I couldn't find this. I was looking for this thread, I couldn't find it. Like who I thought was the worst. I can't remember who I said who I thought was the worst character in the film. But like Hugh Jackman keeps on going one up.
Yeah.
Like you shot his fingers. Like okay, like it's like
No. He shut his fingers and he let him be, and then he came back, and then they kept going,
But then
back
he
and
went
forth.
all the way to Colorado to figure out his streak.
Yeah.
Like, bro, why are you so obsessed with me, man? Why are you so obsessed with me?
But yeah, like I don't know. Hugh Jackman allowed vengeance to consume him. Like God sends you a Scarlett Johansson, you kind of have to be like, you know what, you win some, you lose some. Take the good with the bad.
That's fair enough. Bro, yeah, Scarlett Johansson, I was watching it, she was just throwing out heaters in that movie, man. That was what, 2005 Scarlett Johansson? Yeah.
Yes.
That's throwing out, that's just between Lost in Translation and Iron Man 2. Yeah. Throwing out heaters. And also it's one of those movies where like, I think knowing the twist doesn't ruin the movie, obviously, but
Yeah.
like a good twist, like you're like, oh, all this makes sense. Like I think one of the first things that clocked in my head when I know the twist is like Rebecca Hall saying, "You don't love me today," and I was like,
Yeah,
"Fuck,
literally. And like the
fuck, that
diary
makes sense."
entries.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, fuck, that makes sense." Okay, let's do best. Let's do best, and then we can
Okay.
do worst. We can do worst later.
Mhm.
So you're saying your best?
My best is my best is already Inception. What I think Nolan's best.
Yeah, what do you think Nolan's best is? Sorry, yeah.
Nolan's best is Oppenheimer. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's close with
Yeah, me
anything
too.
else, but
That
it's
was my take.
just like there's no. I tried, trust me, I tried to pick something else, but
Same.
if we're being real, it is Oppenheimer. Oh God,
I,
what a
I'm
fucking
so
film!
I'm so intrigued that you came up with this pick as well. Like I'm because like yeah, I want to know why we came to this pick because
Okay,
I
so
too landed
the
here and I was
the
like,
funny thing is that like I said, I forgot about Oppenheimer because my mind immediately went to like pre 2014 Nolan.
yeah,
And I didn't really love Dunkirk. Like, I think it's a really great film, but for me at least, it's not.
I love Dunkirk.
Yeah, I know you do, but Dunkirk to me is what I was worried Oppenheimer could be. And then
Okay.
Nolan just like bitch slapped me, like, you don't know what I can do. Right. Uh, this film is maybe his best script. Maybe
So when you say best script, what do you mean?
like in
What are you
terms
using
of
to judge that?
okay, so this is why it's hard to say that because this is maybe one of the few ones that doesn't have like hand waving magic in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
best script in terms of like characters, their motivations, how the story progresses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's also his, aside from maybe Batman, actually, no, I was going to say something. I put this film in terms of looks, right? Up there for Nolan, right? Like I think it's
Like more than
competing with some of his
Inception.
best. Like Inception, Interstellar. And when I say looks, I mean some of the shots in this movie are just phenomenal. Some of the ones of them in the deserts. So like the opening one with the water. Some of the shots in this film are paintings, as people put it, right? And Inception, Interstellar, yeah, they look good, but some of the natural lighting shots in this film are crazy. And for me, the biggest testament to this film is that I love that he managed to make what is a biopic feel as grand as his usual Nolan style.
Yeah.
Like Oppenheimer felt like a superhero, right? And like you know that joke where they say guy who's only ever seen superhero movies. This reminds me of this. But it's true, like Oppenheimer felt like, yes, he was larger than life. Yes, he had some sort of like glorious purpose. And I don't know, it felt epic, right? Extremely epic. Like every section of this film, to me at least, feels like I'm lucky to be seeing this backstory.
Yeah, I was worried about Oppenheimer as well going in, but I was less worried because I like Dunkirk. And I was like, okay, just a quick aside on Dunkirk. I think Dunkirk is his best directed film.
Fair.
I think, like
fair.
directing that movie,
fair.
like when we're up in the air with Tom Hardy, and I'm just like, and Jack Loudon. I'm just like, fucking hell, man. Like, apparently there were times when he wanted to do the movie without dialogue, and I was like, that would have still
Yeah.
worked because, like,
Yeah.
I think Dunkirk. And the fact that I was so invested, like, I like Dunkirk so much because again, I watched Dunkirk in IMAX, and poof, yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm in good hands. He's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make like. He's not gonna make the Queen's speech, like the King's speech. Like he's not gonna make a bland biopic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned earlier about how I couldn't make Memento the best because like he had so many more layers to go. And I do think Oppenheimer, obviously, it was the last movie he made, so that should be the case. But it felt like the culmination of like all his
Yes.
talents, everything
Yes.
that he had accumulated over the last 20 years. Actually, the best way I can put it is like this movie is. We mentioned how I mentioned how Interstellar is kind of divided into parts as well, but like this movie also does have like very clear demarcations, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the not really, but kind of quote unquote coming of age of Oppenheimer trying to get kind of balanced into this whole science institution. Then there is, which is for me one of the most thrilling sections, has always been, is him and Matt Damon getting the getting the Ocean's 11 crew together.
Well, there's a line Matt Damon says in that like whole sequence that kills me, but I can't remember it now for the life of me. He says something with so much force and vim that is
I think
funny.
I know this scene, but I don't remember what he
Yeah,
says. I think it's talking about one of the scientists in
yeah. He
like the
says,
hallway, kind of. I know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
I
Yeah, I
think
can't remember what he
oh,
says.
because this is something like, oh, why would I leave my wife? And then he gives him a reason that I'm just like, with his mustache, I was like, this is very, see,
But I mean, I think the best way we can put it is that, like you said already, well, I'm just repeating what you said at this point, is that Nolan made this story riveting. Like he made this
very, extremely,
like we weren't just waiting for the bomb. Like we were
yeah.
kind of locked in. And then the bomb came and we're like, fuck it, that was worth the wait. But like we were locked in like for
From minute one.
yeah. And that's a 3 hour plus movie, man. That
Yeah.
movie's long.
It doesn't feel like it.
That movie's long.
He makes you curious about the guy. He sets up the context around the guy without too much detail that bores you, right? It gives you enough to make you know exactly who's pushing and pulling Oppenheimer and what is driving him. And then he even makes like physics sound cool and interesting. Like there's that.
The courtroom section. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah,
about the
no.
courtroom. I forgot about the courtroom section,
That's
which is
what I thought you were going to say.
yes, I forgot about it. When Nolan just becomes Aaron Sorkin for no
Mhm.
reason.
And it's
Jessica-
so fucking insane because it's the Oppenheimer movie, the way
Mhm.
Nolan structured it is very simple, right? It's like the rise and fall of this man, like everyone, and why he rose and also why he fell, why he was dragged down. But he throws in all these things that make it very interesting. Like you said, you're talking about the court scene, right? Is this separate from the interrogation scene?
Oh no. So when I said courtroom, I meant interrogation.
So the funny thing is that, like, can I say something? I watched this movie in the cinema, obviously.
Uh-huh.
The most disoriented and sweaty I felt was when they were shouting at him. Not when the bomb went off or there was heat. Because this movie was a summer film. It was when there was like a flashbang and someone was shouting. I can't remember the name of the character, the Terminator 5. Or, you know his name.
Terminator 5?
Jason something.
Jason Clark?
Yes.
Why do you call him Terminator 5?
Because he was Terminator in Terminator 5.
He's in Terminator? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know what those movies.
But then he shouts at him and I swear to you, it feels like a flashbang grenade went off in.
That was one of the early, quote unquote, early Tony Goldwyn playing a dickhead Republican roles.
And I think,
followed
okay,
by
not to do too much in
Bombato.
that interrogation scene, one fun thing about the interrogation scene is that they play it well in a sense that, okay, Jason Clarke is the standard dick. But every once in a while, everybody else in the room, I'm like, I'm not too sure about you. Maybe, actually, you're actually a dick as well. Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I mentioned that like he becomes Sorkin, but like because one of the high points of that thing relies on a grammatical error, which makes no sense in real life. But that's something that Sorkin would do. Like with Emily Blunt, I can't remember what the grammatical error was, but like with Emily Blunt, where it's just like I was just like, yeah, this is just insane stuff, great stuff. I do, yeah. I think obviously performances are all excellent. Like we can't start going through all of them one by one, but like it's just really. And obviously, I said Dunkirk is best
Killian
directed,
is
but like
so fucking good in this, and he's so good because I think one of the hardest things to do, or where I'm really impressed by actors, is when they display or show balance of a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Oppenheimer is everything that he is, and I believe all of it, right?
Yeah.
I believe he did, know how to flirt with women, even though he was like one of the smartest people
I
in the
think you and
room.
I discussed this. Like that's
Yeah,
actually Killian's biggest performance. Like he convinced me that that nigga was a
yeah,
womanizer. I was like,
exactly.
you?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I do also believe was he felt a like heavy sense of duty. But at the same time, I
Mm,
do also believe that he was arrogant and he wanted some sort of acclaim for himself, and
mm,
he wasn't all that altruistic, right? Like I believe all these contradictions sit within the character, and it's like a brilliant job from Killian because
yeah,
this is a real person. This is not a script or a story that someone has created for him. He has to
yeah,
show this person and have us feel that they're realistic.
yeah, yeah. RDJ, Emily Blunt, who is maybe one of Nolan's best female characters, but still not great. This is my one issue with this film, that I still feel like the female characters are still lacking in this
I have
movie.
an interesting take, and not to wake up some old internet discourse.
Okay,
I'm going to chuck this grenade out and then just run away.
okay,
Emily Blunt's character is who she is.
uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
What are your what's I'm so confused where this is
no.
going.
Emily Blunt's character is who she is, right?
Uh-huh.
What blame does Nolan have if the character is not one that people like?
Okay, but I do think, and this is obviously going from memory, I do think it was established that she was a lot more accomplished in real life than she is in the movie.
Fair,
Like she's
okay.
like a scientist in her own right
Yeah.
and things like that. So like, so if that's what you're saying, then
Mm-hmm.
but that's not even what I meant. I just meant in terms of
Fair.
like
She doesn't do enough.
doesn't do enough. She's like, or were you going towards more the alcoholism? Is that what you're going towards?
I was going more towards like who she was in his life. Because I
Yeah.
feel when you watch this film, Nolan, rightly or wrongly, feels that the
So
Florence Pugh's
that's
character is
yeah.
more important to his story.
So I think that's the one saving grace in terms of the portrayals of the women. Is that like this movie, the Oppenheimer sections, i.e. the colored sections, are also fully subjective views. Like, so it's like this is how he sees this person. It's not an objective three-dimensional
Yeah.
portrayal of a character. So that's kind of like, to me, that's a saving grace if you want to kind of explain why some of these characters are lacking, how they look like caricatures, 100%. So I'm not. This is not like a. I don't think it's worthy enough to be a nail on the cross. I do agree, but like, yeah, but I do think like there's some like Emily Blunt does her best. Like, it's not, the character is okay. It's not quite smashing machine bad, but
I actually have another hot take. I love the Smashing Machine, Emily Blunt. Sue me.
no. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the character.
No, that's what I'm saying. I loved
You like
Emily
that character?
Blunt.
Why?
Yeah.
What's his that?
We
Like,
don't need to
what
get
does she
into it.
do?
I just really like the character. Like I like what she represented to
That's
his
fair. I mean,
story.
that's a different
Yeah.
podcast. I've realized actually that I might be in the minority with that, because I've heard some other people say that they liked the character. No, so yes. So I do think like the character is. I mean, even Florence Pugh isn't like that well written. Like there are like 3 good scenes, but at the same time, it goes back to the subjective thing. This is how Oppenheimer. It's just a very subjective thing people pass through
Yeah.
your life. If you're writing most women in your life, they will be very kind of one dimensional. So I understand that. I'm not like
Me?
it's not like
Not me.
okay, no, yes, you. If like most people that
Why
pass
me?
through your life, because me too, most people that pass through your life, you only see one dimension. You don't see the full, unless like.
Okay, fair.
Also, Oppenheimer.
Banky
Okay,
speaks for himself. Banky's
not
thoughts
you,
are not those of the
not you.
popcorn
Oppenheimer
federal.
was a narcissist. Oppenheimer
Yeah,
was a
he was.
narcissist, so he didn't give as much time to think about all these other women.
Yeah,
Are you okay?
I
Are you
agree.
happy now? No, but I'm actually surprised that we both agreed on this being his best. I don't think it's recency bias. I mean, this
No, I
nigga
don't
made
think it's recency
Oppenheimer a
bias.
$1 billion movie. Like
Like
obviously Oppenheimer
I
helped, but
can't
still.
poke, aside from what we just discussed, I can't poke a hole in Oppenheimer as a film.
Yeah, I just
Do you I'm going to randomly like burst into bits of praise of this film. But the thing I said
Thought
about
you're
the
going to
movie
burst
being
into song.
epic
That'll
is
be more fun.
what?
I said I thought you're going to burst into song. That'll be more fun.
I
Oh, go
remember
ahead.
watching this movie and the first scene plays and then you have the fire and then the thing about Prometheus and I was like, obviously, I can say this now because hindsight and we're here, we're all friends. And I was like, oh, brother, no, man, just give me my fucking biopic. Like, what is all this epic music and fire and telling me about Greek gods? And then it turns out that the movie was actually, matching that initial tone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to make this an open air podcast because we did 3 hours of that 2 years ago. But like everybody's just on fire in this movie. Editing, Jennifer Lane, music, like
The
costumes,
music.
production
No, guys, I
design,
think the music is it's like Christopher Nolan, Cillian Murphy, and then the music for
music.
this movie.
Yeah, and then editing.
Honestly.
Yeah. Editing is
The
so
editing
quick.
is
Like I don't think
insane.
we,
The
we, we
editing
don't
is
spend like
insane.
we spend like half a second on some scenes. It's
Yeah.
just going.
The
And, like,
editing is
because
insane.
that's again that's why the movie feels so quick. But that's the spirit of the movie. Editing is
Also Nolan's
ridiculous.
sexiest movie. First time I saw Florence Pugh's
his only
titties, I
movie
was
with a
like,
sex scene.
bro, first time I saw Florence Pugh's titties, I was like, oh. And then I saw them again and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's his only movie with a sex scene.
A proper sex scene, by the way. This is not implied. Like, this is
Yeah.
like, I thought I was going to see Cillian Murphy's
sexiest
penis.
is a low bar. Is a low bar for sexiest.
I mean,
how many times
I
have
don't know,
you...
man. I feel like reading what's the name of that passage? The Sankey, whatever, during sex. It's like a very sexy thing. I don't think many filmmakers have.
You literally cut me off because my question was going to be, how many times have you done that?
I have not. But first of all, do you know the flex to even be able to read the thing? And then I don't even know who is... Actually, shout out Florence Pugh. Let's just say
Who's
that.
crazier?
Yeah.
They match each other as crazy, I bet. They match each other as crazy.
I become dead.
Okay,
Destroyer.
So we both agreed on this being his best. Excited to see Odyssey. Do you want to just very quickly do what you think is his worst?
Not worst. Least favorites.
Best. Okay.
Probably Dunkirk.
Oh, that's for you, yeah.
Yeah. Not because it's bad. I like Dunkirk, but of all the Nolan films, it's the one that I'm least likely to throw on a Friday night.
I mean, even me that loves Dunkirk, like I'm not just gonna throw on Dunkirk on a Friday.
But I will throw on every other Nolan film. That's the issue.
Fair.
Even Interstellar, I might not finish it, but I'll be like, yeah, let me.
So this is not a throwing on thing because I think I'll be very eager to throw on this movie, but like I haven't watched it in a while, and I think the memories I have of it are not great.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be Dark Knight Rises.
Fair.
Fair. But like it's one of those things that I don't even know how I felt when I first watched it. I think I just had so much, like, obviously the Bane twist, the Talia, all these kind of little things have kind of soured it. But I remember obviously the Anne Hathaway and Christian Bale thing really working. So it's one of those things where I think I just need to revisit at some point. But like in terms of least favorite, it's probably that. It's probably that. I mean, there's a clear, he has a movie that The Following is like his first movie, is in black and white.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anybody has seen it. It's worth checking out because a lot of like Nolanisms are there. You can kind of see that
I haven't
already.
seen Following.
Yeah. But sorry, you're going to say something for a wrap.
No, I was going to say, like, we briefly touched on underrated, and I think I give Batman Begins a lot of flowers. I don't know if it's underrated.
I think it's an all-round underrated superhero film.
Fair. Because I think it might be fairly rated amongst superhero fans, but I give that movie a lot of flowers.
I don't think it's that fairly rated amongst... I just think because Dark Knight comes out 3 years later...
People forget it, yeah.
Clears it. Yeah, people forget that like, Batman Begins is very kind of like... Yeah, solid. It's like, yeah, more than solid, yeah. So I would agree with that as well. I think I have any other thing.
Of the Nolan regulars hasn't had a lead role yet?
I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, so it's just him, right?
But he's only done 2. I was like, at what point do you stop being a regular? Because he hasn't been there since...
So he's done Dark Knight Rises, he's done Inception. Yeah, and he wasn't in Oppenheimer, which is interesting. Because he could definitely have been one of those scientists.
I guess maybe he's too old now because he'll be in his 40s.
Maybe.
And all the Jack Quaids, them are late 20s, early. I guess he might have been aged out, yeah. Josh Peck, he would have been
maybe.
aged out, yeah.
Because I feel
Yeah.
like I do wonder what it's like to be one of the way Cillian Murphy's career kind of went. So you're like one of the supporting guys, and
Supporting
then
and
you're just
coming
hoping
lead.
that the next film he makes has a character.
I mean, that's kind of Matt Damon. Obviously, Matt Damon is Matt
Yeah.
Damon, so it doesn't really
Oh
count.
shit,
But like,
yeah.
he was two supporting, one supporting, one basically cameo. I still maintain it as a
Yeah.
cameo, and then like a lead. So it's kind of that. But like, I was thinking about watching Inception. Obviously, Elliot Page is coming back for Odyssey. They haven't worked
Oh,
together
yeah.
since Inception. But I really wish he could. Like, I would want him. I don't know. Maybe now they're just too different and don't do it. Maybe he doesn't understand. But
Who?
I want him to kind of go back to some
JGL
of those movie stars. No. Yeah, obviously JGL. I like JGL, but like someone like a Leo or a
again?
McConaughey. Yeah, but I feel like it might be a one and done for those kind of things. Because even watching Prestige, I was like, how come you never did with Jackman and Scarlett Johansson anymore? Is it just
Yeah.
MCU that just took them busy? Like, what happened there?
Jackman especially, man, because yeah, man, Hugh Jackman can act.
He can. That's the thing. And you know, like Jackman is down to do anything.
Yeah.
He can do serious. He can clown. Like he's really down to anything. But I think it might just be like a thing. And
Okay, what
yeah,
kind of movie do you want to see Nolan make?
I, this is a bullshit answer for like whatever he wants to make. I feel like no, because like
No,
I'm not gonna say rom com. I don't want to say Nolan
not
rom com.
rom-com, but
Probably
like
be good,
you had the Bond thing, right?
but he's done that. That's what I'm trying to say. He's done that.
He's done like Tenet, Inception.
And Inception, yeah. It's like
Okay,
he's done
I have
sci-fi.
an answer, but I don't
What?
know if they work, right? How they would actually work. But I want to see him make a Guy Ritchie style crime comedy.
I mean, comedy is asking a lot. I don't know how like I like
That's
some
what I'm
of
saying.
Nolan
Exactly.
in some
It's not
funny.
his style. It's not his
Yeah, it's
style.
just not his
Yeah,
style.
it will be very tough. Very,
Like
very
he's
tough.
not Guy Ritchie, like for a very obvious
Or
reason. Yeah.
or maybe he does a period piece.
I mean, when you say period, you mean like real period? You don't count Oppenheimer, obviously.
No,
You're saying
Oppenheimer
like,
is too recent. I'm talking like Middle England, like
but,
the
but like to what
1500,
end?
the War of the Roses or something like that.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting because like if you remember before Odyssey was announced, there was the idea that like they were doing. I didn't remember the helicopter thing.
No.
That Matt Damon and Tom Holland were helicopter cops. You didn't remember? You didn't remember this?
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
that felt so fucking random. I was like, what?
But is it more random than the fucking Odyssey? Like he went back to the
Yes.
original story,
For
like the first ever story.
For Nolan, yes. I was like, okay.
So
This
it's
sounds
like
like a movie that The Rock and Kevin Hart would make. Sure.
true,
Go
but
for it.
again, like Nolan likes to have fun sometimes. Likes to have fun, but it's interesting. I don't want to be like a Nigerian parent that is like asking you what next before the current thing that's even happened. But like, it's interesting to see what he does after Odyssey,
the Odyssey.
because like, especially if Odyssey is a success.
Yeah, I think it will be a success though.
Like if it's a financial and critical success that he owns Hollywood, like like.
But
Because I think
it's going to be though.
Oppenheimer was a blank check essentially. They were like, go make your 3-hour biopic about the guy that created the atomic bomb. Remember, Warner Brothers said no. So like he basically went out bidding and he got, so it was basically a blank check. Odyssey, and then he wins what, 3 Oscars? So Odyssey becomes another blank check. Like if this then is like 900 million, 800 million, people really like this movie, especially considering people on internet are already beginning to do how they do on the internet.
Isn't it?
Where did that come from?
No, that's a Travis Scott reference.
Travis, I know, yes, but I didn't expect it. Yeah, like he gets like 3 blank checks in a row. That's crazy. I wonder who has got the most blank checks in a row. Anyway, okay, let's wrap it up there. Just under an hour
Who
and a
has got
half.
the most blank checks? Question for
I mean,
the
you
viewers.
feel like probably like Spielberg in like these 70s,
Spielberg,
80s.
yeah. Like yeah.
What's his
Spielberg
name?
has done a lot, man.
Coogler. Sorry?
Spielberg has done a lot.
Yeah, Coogler doesn't really. Coogler's next film is definitely a blank check for sure. Well, actually, it's Black Panther 3. Oh, look, that's not really a blank check. But you get what I mean. Like, next
Yeah.
original film he does. Okay. Ebuka, thank you very much for this.
Anytime. Always down to talk about Nolan. Now I'm going to
If
finish
you're
my
still here at this
rewatch.
point, please check out everything else we're doing on the feed. House of the Dragon Season 3 is running. People are dying. Dragons are burning shit. And then what else? What else are we doing?
Our friends
The Bear
and
is out.
neighbors.
We did a podcast on The Bear. We did a podcast on Friends and Neighbors. We did a podcast on Beef. All of that is there. And last week I said we did our Odyssey cheat sheet, so you can check it out as well. And then next few weeks we'll do Odyssey. We'll do Brand New Day. And then we'll go into the summer. Oh, and Ebuka is getting married as well, so that's a whole big thing. Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Thank you, guys. Later.
Bye, guys. See you next week with Daniel Kaluuya.